Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we've got an absolutely fascinating explainer lined up for you. We're going to completely decode the true nature of spiritual power and human agency. Seriously, we're looking at source material that entirely flips the traditional script on what it actually means to be spiritually gifted. Because, instead of just being passive receivers of mystical forces, we're going to see how education and intention literally turn us into the active protagonists of our own lives. It's a real game changer. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by untangling the fortune teller trap. Then we'll ground all these abstract ideas with the super practical hoe metaphor. After that, we're going to completely redefine what divine energy actually is, shift into why humans have to be the protagonists in this physical world, and finally, explore how we're really meant to guide both spirits and humanity. But right off the bat, I want to hit you with a pretty provocative question. Is having a sudden vision or a spiritual connection a divine gift, or is it a dangerous trap? Think about it. Most of us just assume that getting some kind of unseen insight is the ultimate blessing, right? Like you've crossed the spiritual finish line. But according to our source material, receiving that vision without actually knowing what to do with it, that's where the real danger begins.
To really understand why that is, let's jump straight into Section 1, the fortune teller trap. Our source material introduces this really fascinating term, chambachi, which roughly translates to a wandering fortune teller. Now imagine you suddenly get the spiritual ability to just see someone's situation. They walk up to you and boom, you immediately tell them exactly what their problem is. You might even take some money for it. Or hey, maybe you do it for free, but you're still just blurting out their future. The profound point here is that simply seeing someone's situation and telling them about it makes you a fortune teller. It doesn't make you a true guide because you aren't actually helping them solve their underlying life problems.
And when you think about it, the difference in the value you're providing is massive. Think about the unstudied fortune teller. Because they only predict the future and basically say, hey, figure it out yourself, their value out in the world is capped, say, at 50,000 won. But contrast that with an educated guide. This is someone who takes that spiritual insight, studies human nature, and then uses that knowledge to actively lead and empower the person right out of their hardship. Their value skyrockets to 300,000 won or even 3 million won. The stark reality is that your true value doesn't come from your mystical vision. It comes from your studied ability to actually guide others.
Which brings us perfectly into Section 2, the hoe metaphor. To make these abstract spiritual concepts super tangible, the source uses this fantastic, deeply grounded agricultural analogy.
They gave me a hoe, but I don't know how to use it, so I smash a rock. I absolutely love this. So imagine you're handed a hoe, a heavy, sharp farming tool. This tool represents your spiritual power or your divine gift. The universe has handed you an instrument, but it is just an instrument. If you haven't studied farming, you have no idea where to strike. So you look around, you see a rock, and you just smash the hoe right into it. Or maybe you hang it on the wall as an ornament. Or worse, you swing it blindly and hit your friend in the knee.
When you really break down the consequences of this metaphor, it's wild. Without study, your default action is just randomly smashing rocks. The result? You injure a friend's knee. And the output is a total disaster. You've got power, sure, but it's completely chaotic. But the moment you apply study to the equation, everything shifts. Your action becomes weeding the land efficiently. The result is you protect your own hands and body from injury. And the output? You're doing the work of 10 people, completely effortlessly.
So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that divine power is just an unrefined tool. Getting the tool isn't the finish line, guys. It's literally just the starting line. Only through dedicated study can you use it safely and effectively. Because without that study, you're essentially just swinging a sharp hoe in the dark, hurting yourself and everybody around you.
All right, so now that we get why we need to study our tools, let's move into Section 3, redefining divine energy. The source material takes a huge step back here to reframe how we view the cosmos entirely.
When we talk about God in this context, we need to clear something up right away. God is not some terrifying figure sitting on a cloud waiting to punish us. Whether different cultures call it Allah, God, or Chonji Shinmyong, the source argues these are just different names for the exact same thing, the omnipresent, self-existing energy of grand nature itself. And we shouldn't fear this energy. Why? Because we are literally inseparable, living cells within it. And this massive energy of grand nature is perfectly divided into 3 foundational forces. You've got heaven energy, known as Chenji, earth energy, Jiji, and crucially, human energy, Inki. All 3 of these forces exist in total harmony. Understanding this balance is the key to removing fear from spirituality. We aren't separate from the divine.
Our human energy is a core operational slice of the universe's power.
Recognizing our place in that cosmic balance leads us right into Section 4, humans as the protagonists. And this is where we completely flip the script on all that superstitious bowing down to unseen forces.
So, how does this actually work in our day-to-day lives? Well, first, humans have to be the protagonists. Why? Because we're the ones with physical bodies operating in this three-dimensional, four-dimensional realm. This is our stage. Second, spirits act as indirect helpers. They're around to assist in our growth and operations, but they literally cannot do the physical work for us. In this physical world, we have to be the primary actors. We can't just be subservient followers of unseen spirits.
And honestly, the source material issues a pretty sobering warning right here. If you let spirits drag you around, like if you surrender your decision-making agency to unseen forces just because you think they must know better, you actually fail your life's purpose. You came to the human world to do human work. If you hand over that responsibility, you accomplish nothing here. And worse, you risk just becoming a lost, wandering spirit yourself when your time is up. You've got to take the wheel.
Okay, so if we take the wheel, what is our ultimate responsibility? That brings us to our final section, guiding spirits and humanity.
This is what an educated, empowered person actually does. First, they elevate their own personal worth through relentless study. They finally learn how to use their hoe. Second, they use that knowledge to guide the living people around them out of hardship. Third, and I think this is just fascinating, by acting correctly in the physical world, they actually help lead wandering ancestor spirits to peace. The living family members create a clear path that helps their entire spiritual lineage. It creates this incredible mutual growth. We help the spirits assist us, and absolutely nobody is left struggling.
Which leaves us with one final, powerful thought. Are you going to be dragged around by unseen forces, endlessly predicting the future without ever actually changing it? Or are you going to study, master the tools you've been given, and finally, take the lead as the true protagonist of your life? The choice, ultimately, is entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep studying, keep mastering those tools, and I will see you in the next one.